Good morning, everybody. It's Debbie with the Pickin Coop Farmstead. I'm out in my garden this morning. It's only like 64, which I'm taking full advantage of that. I got out here kind of late. That's my story lately. I don't get it. Um, so anyways, it's almost 8. So I'm hooking up. I hooked up my hose to my soaker hoses. It's pretty damp still, but I want to let that go. Everything that I watered with the sprinkler is still pretty damp. So what I want to do today is address this bed behind me. I've got pumpkins and I've got beans. I'm not putting the beans in there. The beans are going to go over against that trellis I made. But come along and let's do some gardening. All right, so I planted 2, but I only had 1 that came up of my sweet pumpkins. These are the ones I got from that little lady in Palo Cedro. I saved her, or bought her pumpkins the first couple of years, and then I saved the seeds. We roasted some of the seeds, and we're just going to heal this guy up. There we go. And then we'll stick a little marker in there. And we're going to go on to the next one. All right, the next 2 I have are the Hubbard squash, which I saved seeds from. Look at the roots on these guys. I saved these from Nash's. And those of you that don't know, Gabby usually does it with me. I do Nash's once October comes around. And we do their craft fair. And so I usually buy pumpkins from them and squash. Okay, those 2 are in. All right, next I have what I call, I think there's a different name for them, more technical, princess pumpkins. They're the round, they're not as tall as the others, and they kind of come around like this, and they have all the sections. These have beautiful, beautiful orange meat, which is super, super sweet, kind of like the Hubbards. And this also came from Nash's. All right, so I'm doing this against my better judgment. I'm going to, this one is a little not looking so good, but these are tromboncinos. I have some over at the other end of the garden, and they have a trellis to climb up on, but these guys do not. So I'm going to put them in, and we are going to hope that I figure out something to trellis them on. That's our goal. And they grow pretty quickly, but I'm sure I can figure something out. So there is tromboncinos. So now we're going to keep moving back. I've got a few more things. I think I have some spaghetti squash and some zucchini. All right, these are my dark star zucchinis. I think the seeds were from Redwood Seeds, which she is local in I believe the Manton area. Very nice lady. I met her at a show, and it was the most unique craft show I had ever done. It was up at the old Manton School, and they had homesteading classes. And she did a seed saving class, I believe it was. I didn't get to attend, of course, because I had my booth to man. But super, super nice lady. We did some bartering. I bought a whole bunch of her seeds. She sells them locally too, all over the place. So I have a couple of butternuts here, and I have some over on the other trellis. I got a little nervous because the bugs were eating a lot of my things. There we go. And I thought, well, at this rate, I'm not going to have any of these plants left. So I started some more indoors just so that I could, because they seem not to bother them once they get up tall enough. So there's that one. Now these guys, I'm going to have to make, I don't know if I can make squash trees out of these or not. Pawpaw Ridge has a good video on making squash trees. You grew them up on poles and then trim them from the bottom up as you go. And that helps eliminate pests and gives you a lot more room. So very quickly, we're getting this bed full. It doesn't take me any time at all. These have to go quite a ways away from each other. This is probably even still too close, but it is what it is. All right, I have only one spaghetti squash that came up, but that's okay. I've got more growing over there, so we're going to be just fine. Here we are. And here we go. I had to double check, make sure I turned on my camera. I tell you. There we go. He's all happy in the dirt. Put his little name tag in there. All right, I think I have one more. It's pretty small, but I'm going to go for it. So this little guy is the one and only Big Max that came up. He's pretty small, so hopefully the bugs don't get him. He's a pumpkin. I don't know why. I only planted, I think, 2 per cup. Squash family does not like to have their roots messed with once you plant them. And 2 is plenty if they thrive. All right, so there is that. I used to plant them every single year, actually. I would plant them directly in the hills, and then whatever came up, came up. But this year, as soon as my seedlings sprout up, the bugs annihilate them. So I have a little tiny bit of room left at the edge of this bed, but I'm not going to plant that right now. Next, I have my handmade trellis over here that I use 2 poles and some twine. And the bugs ate my Blue Lake pole beans. So we are going to try to plant them in there again. There's 3 in here. I'm going to divide them. I made 2 holes. That's where my other ones were planted. There we go. I'm just putting 2 in one. Excuse me. I'll put this little marker right in the middle. And my soaker hose will go right in between the 2 holes. Okay, so we'll just mark that like that. That way both of them will get water. And this one is actually almost up to the twine. All right, so I've got red noodle beans that are going to go right here. And I try to plant them as close under the ground as possible, or the wire, excuse me. There we are. And I'm just going to put both of them in the same pot, or the same hole. I'm having trouble with my words today. There we go. Put one of my little marker in. There we go. My cucamelon next door here, still trying to hang out. All right. So next, I'm going to plant this one, which is cattle bean. Let's put him, maybe I can put him right next to this soaker hose. There we go. Let's get that out of there. The cattle beans, I do believe, are a bean that you grow and you dry and cook that way. There we go. And then last but not least, I have a couple of limas, and they're going to go on the end here, right next to my soaker hose. I think you can see me. Let's see, between the sun and the camera. All right, we are going to put it right here. That way, it's going to get plenty of water. Come on, weeds, get out of there. There we go. And I think I'm just going to leave these two together also. There we are. Right next to the old soaker hose. And put our little tag in there. And just like that, my tray is empty. So we got all that stuff planted, everything that was in the house. Okay, so I went around, I didn't film it because it's kind of boring, and I intertwined a bunch of, all of my tomatoes actually. I'm trying to get them to go in and out. I need to go, I think tomorrow, well tomorrow's my Thursday, but the next day I'm going to go along and trim up the bottoms again. Okay, my microphone's on. And keep those off of the ground. Everything is doing absolutely wonderfully out here. I'm super, super psyched about it. I am going to show you something exciting, so hold on. I was checking all my soaker hoses, and look at what I found. It kind of broke one off, but that's another asparagus. So far, I've got 3 asparaguses, so as long as I keep watering, you never know, they will come up. Now, purple, absolutely nothing on the purple, so I don't know what that's about. Maybe they take longer because they're getting watered too. Well, that's all I have for you today. Starting to get a little warm out here. Garden is looking great. I did some fluffing and zhuzhing and planting. Turned on my soaker hoses. And I think that's all we're going to do and call it good. I hope the sun is shining where you are. If it is, I hope you're staying cool. Hope you're happy, healthy, safe. Thank you, as always, for watching, subscribing, and sharing my channel. Lots and lots of comments. Thank you all for that. And God bless you all. Happy gardening. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.